right, you guys ready? Let's go. Let's get psyched. Come on, it's Friday. It's warming
I
up.
hope you post that.
GH Squad Podcast episode 14. After our awesome guest, Tiffany, last week, it's just the three of us this time, and I hope we can still bring the fire. But first, if you haven't listened to the first 13 episodes, seriously, every week, Mason, Seth, and I break down what's going on in the professional horticulture industry with our own amazing humor and melodic delivery. So you might as well like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And if you're not following us on Instagram at GH Squad Pod, you should probably do that too. But gentlemen, how's it going?
It's great. And I like to think that this week, Bill, we do have a special guest, and it's everyone at the trade show that Seth is at. They are a guest on this podcast.
It's true. It's true. We can see them. And before I put on noise reduction, we could hear them. I believe we could hear every single one coming through.
No, you can't hear every
AirPods.
single one.
Are those real AirPods or are those like knockoff AirPods?
No, these are real. That's why you hear Joanne's voice from 4 booths over.
Wait, hey, I think I heard a pipe drop. Are you going to ask that guy?
What are you doing?
Are you kidding me?
Allegedly. No one was there to say whether that happened or not.
I can almost envision it happening. But before we get started, we did get a comment on Spotify that I want to read, because it brings up a really good point about those of us in the industry maybe not being as good of consumers of our own products as we should be. But the comment was, as a horticulturist, I have substantial guilt for buying more bread, pastries, coffee, and food truck treats than produce, flowers, and plants at my local farmer's market. I always want to chat up the fellow plant people, but I feel bad not buying stuff because I produce most of my own veggies and flowers. What are your thoughts on this? First off, I'm guessing that person does not grow enough cut flowers and veggies, and that they're probably just saying that because they feel guilty for not buying more, but they probably could buy more.
I understand it. I understand it completely, because I feel like that's me to a certain extent. And I think that there's a portion of that there's all of it psychological, but it is harder for someone probably in our industry to go to a plant market and buy plants. I mean, it's probably harder it's harder for me to buy plants in general, that I look at it and I'm like, it's nice, but I could grow that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where even during the off season, last year, for example, I think we talked about this on a prior episode. I had a cucumber harvest shortage, but it was still hard for me to go during cucumber season to the farmer's market and buy a cucumber, because I could be like, I could grow that. I don't need to buy that. Like, there's like a weird barrier, but with plants, I've gotten over it because I don't have a greenhouse. So, a hanging basket, while I try to shop around and find the best deal, I'm, limited. I'm not starting plugs in a basket in my bathroom anymore.
Yeah. I guess we'll buy tomatoes at the farm market or up at the farm stand before ours are ready and after we've picked our last ones. So, yeah, I mean, during the peak of the season, I'm probably not buying vegetables at the farm market, but I'm probably buying some because I don't grow everything. So, I don't know. Seth, any thoughts on this, or are you just...
I sometimes bash banking, right? Because horticulture is way more exciting than banking. But in this particular occasion,
we're not bashing anybody here.
Not bashing. No, just commenting that banking is a lot less fun and interesting than growing plants. But there aren't that many horticulturists, right? So the industry is not going to, like, if all the horticulturists don't buy any plants, you won't even see a little tiny ripple in the sales of plants.
That's probably a good point.
It's kind of
also.
I mean, it did used to frustrate me that we had a plant sale at Ball with plants that were grown outside of the state of Illinois. That bugged me a little bit, but I understood, and it was a good customer, and it gave you access to a lot of plants that maybe you couldn't find locally because they would make sure to grow new varieties and stuff like that. And it was like a fun event for everybody in the company to go out and be outside picking up plants. And I guess it did, in terms of sheer joy around plants, it definitely leveled everything up. But I still made it a point to buy minimally at the company plant sale and still buy as much as I could at the local greenhouses. But I get it. I mean, now I get so many samples that I really don't buy too many annuals anymore, which I used to feel guilty about, but I'm still buying more than my neighbors.
Yeah. That, I mean, truthfully, like, I mean, I don't know. Everybody's like that though. Like, I still try to siphon my parents are still selling plants out of a greenhouse in Port Austin, Michigan now. And every time I go back, I try to swipe whatever I can. I had 3 hydrangeas in the front, and
Nice.
I got those. I claim that it's the child labor tax that I didn't get paid enough as a child. And so now it's like, my dad was like, "You gonna pay for that? You gonna pay me that?" And I was like, "Listen, I paid with
Put in
18
my
years of
hours.
hard labor." So,
That's good.
um,
So
but Seth is taking a break. I was going to ask him if he said baking or banking.
banking. I think he was talking about banking.
Oh, okay. Because I was worried about smashing bakers. I was like, I don't know. I feel like bakers could use the help here. Like, we don't need
Yeah,
to.
I feel
we
like
need to
they're
put
kind
them
of on
down.
our team. We're good with bakers. If you're
But
a
I
baker,
don't know.
we're
I
good
guess
with you.
banking is punching up. We can do that. But baking,
Yeah.
I was like, come on, Seth. But we'll
And
never know.
we are going to discuss baking a little bit later in this episode because it is potentially the #1 hobby in America. But before we get into that, Mason, you were at the iLandscape show where Seth is right now. You were there, what, yesterday?
Yeah. I went yesterday afternoon.
Tell me about I have been to the iLandscape show, but not for many, many years. So how do you characterize that show? Where is it? And what was the vibe?
Yeah. So I will say this, that iLandscape, right? And your first thought is it's a landscaper show. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
It's in the name. And a lot of the content is geared for the landscaping side of the industry. And it is in Schaumburg, I think is the technical. It's like not too far from O'Hare. It's at a hotel conference center that they've done a lot of work on. Super nice. But I would go a step further to say like I don't know, for me, business wise, like, yes, we work with landscapers, but most of them buy through distributors, and it's a different thing. We don't necessarily, I don't go out. I'm not there to talk to landscapers. If a landscaper would like to talk, awesome. But really, like, for me, it is also probably the best just green industry show in Illinois. And it's kind of like Illinois, Wisconsin now. And you get growers. Like it's kind of a nursery show because you think a lot of landscape is trees. And so there are a ton of nurseries there. But Plant Peddler was there. Saw Mike Gooder and Stacy.
Out
And
of
so
Iowa.
yeah. So it was fun talking to them. Seth, we razzed on Seth a little bit because he had snubbed their booth for the first day and a half, and I was like, "Yeah, they're not too happy with you."
Wow.
He admittedly
He must have.
Yes, he was. But no, and then I ran back into him and he was talking with Stacy. So, but no, I think iLandscape to me is a good, while it is predominantly landscape focused, it is a good representation of green industry in Illinois.
Yeah.
So you do have a ton of growers, you have a ton of nurseries. Yeah. So it was good.
No, that's cool.
Did you do your 3 things?
No, I did not do my
not do my
three
three
things.
All right. What was the
I'm picking up massive echo. Hold on.
Yeah. It's Seth.
massive echo?
I don't know. Seth.
Yeah, put your earbuds back in.
Back in? You said
Yeah.
they were
Can you
bad.
mute him from your end?
Can I what?
Mute him? Oh, you don't need
No,
to.
we're
It's
good now.
Okay. So I'm gonna count down. And I'm gonna jump right back in. You can edit this in.
All right, let's go.
So yesterday I took a trip over to the iLandscape show because it's a green industry show in Illinois, and obviously we're very involved in the green industry in general. But I have to say I got to start my day earlier than that. I only got a chance to go for the afternoon because in the morning I got the awesome opportunity to be mystery reader for my son's preschool class. Yeah. So
Was he shocked when you walked in?
mind blown. He was like, "Whoa!" And so I have to say that was the highlight of my week.
Oh yeah.
I read one book and I got an encore from all these 4-year-olds, and the teacher was like, "They want you to read another book." And I was like, "Well, I brought 2." And then, but
Nice. So
somehow
you were
both
prepared.
I was. Both books were about bears. Interesting. But yeah, no, and this is a shout out. The first book that I read was Harold Hates to Hibernate, and about a bear doesn't want to hibernate, kids don't want to sleep. It was
Doesn't want
great.
to go to bed.
Yeah, so then we went, so I dropped him off, got back in the car, drove out to iLandscape, met with a bunch of great folks, and I got to see everything I needed to see. And so yeah, it was a great day overall yesterday. Not gonna lie.
Were you happy to see Seth? Was it a nice little reunion?
It was, you know what? It's always great
embraced.
to see Seth.
Yeah.
Good.
I liked it
We
that
did
like
not embrace. There was
yeah,
no
we
hug.
did. Yeah. No, we did. Like you were on like one side and I was on the other side, and we ran in slow mo, and then finally we got to each other and we hugged.
That's
Remember?
nice. I like that. I wish we had that on video. Maybe we can recreate that next
Did that not
time
happen?
we see each other.
I think we'll
I
have
th-
to create it for the first time.
Sorry, maybe
Seth
I'm
was
gonna
almost, I have
envision.
to say this, Bill. Seth was almost too busy to talk to me.
Seth, were you working in a booth or were you just talking to people? Were you just working the crowd?
I just
Tell me,
yeah, I don't really.
Seth, how was iLandscape? Tell me about your iLandscape experience.
I thought it was good. I thought it was good. I thought that iLandscape is probably one of the best regional show I've ever been to, and I've been to a lot.
Okay.
Everyone's super engaged, and I think people are optimistic for this year. I did hear cautiously optimistic, which is better than not feeling it.
Mm.
You know, for me with the sustainability stuff, you know, just more like kind of like working the connections, and it's a lot of peers, right? Like you see
Yeah.
people from kind of the greater Midwest here, and I had to find my three things. So yeah,
And
I'm
what
always.
are
I
the
was going to
three
say,
things is what I assigned you
yeah,
yesterday in our
yeah.
text chain. I said, see if we can find three things that are awesome at iLandscape. So
Well,
what'd you find?
you want to go? Do we do like one and one? Like Mason does one and I do one, and then he does one and I do one, maybe, or what?
Sure. However you
Yeah.
want to do it.
I'll go first
Oh,
because he needs me to go first.
well,
What I liked about the show yesterday, and this is kind of general, the theme. So I don't know. I've gone to a lot of shows where there's been a theme, and you're like, why did they have to theme it? I think
Yeah.
some years, I think that there was like themes at cast that before I was like, this is why are we theming it this? Or
Yeah.
you know, but they had a theme and it was like off to the races kind of deal. They actually like they went all in on it. So at multiple places there was like a big horse. I took a picture with it. Seth took my picture. It was like a race horse. And then they had a track set up to where they had a lady there standing with remote control cars and you could take one and race it on the track.
Oh,
And
that's
then they
cool.
had a Pinewood Derby set up in the middle.
Mm,
And then vendors went all in on it. So Site One had a Formula One car in their booth,
yeah, it was cool.
and a bunch of people wearing like NASCAR kits. So I thought that for a theme done at an industry trade show,
Right?
yeah.
Like,
Oh, look at
great.
that.
There
That's
you go.
cool. Yeah, that's cool.
So
yeah.
I thought it was done really well.
What
No,
did you
that's
say?
good. And I agree. A lot of times themes can be a little just kind of dorky, but that's cool.
I think that like I would say 35% of the vendors had a theme, right? Like they had a race car. Oh, did you see the booth that had Mario Kart?
I did. Walked by
Yeah.
and literally, like, I was just walking by and I was like, ooh, Mario Kart. Nice.
Yeah, they had the like the
Oh,
little
here's, like-
controllers that you could use, and then
Yeah.
right next door they had Cruisin' USA. I don't know if you guys remember
Oh,
that.
I didn't see that.
The
That's a
arcade
throwback.
machine. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
felt
Yeah.
like the vendors really got into it. So it made the theme. But I think that a lot of the vendors here, like it's a really good show. The other thing that they do is they do a raffle the last half hour of the show, and anyone can win. Vendors can win, committee members can win, attendees can win, and they give out like probably $10,000 worth of stuff and winnings each night. So it's like, but it's like everyone hangs out till like 5:30, and it's just more time to like connect with people. Like, I was trying to connect with someone was like, "Oh, Seth, you got to talk to this guy. I'll send you an email intro." Right. And, I was standing and talking to someone, and I looked back. I'm like, I think that's the guy I'm supposed to talk to. And so I'm like, oh, hey, like, like he lives out by me. And so like had a good conversation, and we wouldn't have had that connection had we not been there for the raffle and kind of,
Right.
hanging out the last bit. Yeah. So I
That
think
is good. And I like it when regional shows do that sort of not force networking, but give that opportunity at the end of the event was it on the show floor?
yeah.
Like in a central area? Yeah, I've always thought that
Yeah.
made sense. The Western, we used to be like a silent auction.
Yeah,
But
and
everybody would
they
hang out for a couple hours after the show or an hour after the show.
yeah, and they have like food, and they have like
Yeah.
a little like beer like kiosks essentially. So but they have a bunch of them, right? Like we've all been to a show at the same time where there's like one beer kiosk and 250 people in line.
Yeah.
right? And then it's like
one little buffet line with mini egg rolls.
right. And then like everyone's like, then you're like, I am not going to get to the food in the next hour. So like, why am I even staying here?
There's always that grower, the nurseryman usually, that the one buffet line that somehow then goes the other way. I look at it and I'm like, he's either a genius or just a turd. Like, are you trying to screw it up here, or have you just found a way to make the system better? He's because he skips the plates, but he goes to the napkins that are on the end.
He's got a napkin and a handful of mini egg rolls. Yeah, I've been that guy. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I just go straight up to the middle, grab a couple things, and walk away.
Yeah, it's all good. It's fine. It's fine.
All right. So that was your thing, Mason. I liked it.
All right. I was actually really disappointed because the picture you referenced with the horse, I thought I took that. I did take the picture, but I thought I had it on my phone, so I was going to show everyone. But
it's on my phone
now. That's too bad. So actually, it's good. It's good. One of the things that caught my eye that I'd never seen before. Now, granted, I'm a lot more into sustainability than I've ever been before. But one of the tree nurseries had this like specialty crops mini catalog. And the concept is around native fruiting trees to the Midwest. So like pawpaw, persimmon, hazelnut, elderberry. What else is in here? Plum, filbert. I guess that's a nut, really. But it's just kind of like neat, like really kind of talking about, not just fruits that like, from all over the North America. This would be stuff that would be really good for the Midwest. So that's kind of interesting. And I actually talked to someone else that had spoke on tree trends, and she was commenting on the same concept. So
that was like a physical little book.
Yeah, a little book.
I like it.
Little catalog.
I like
from,
it. Not a digital, not like a QR code, an actual physical little book.
Yeah.
I like the concept. I mean, the book's cool. I like the concept more than the book. But yes, there it is, me kissing the horse photo.
Yeah, that was weird. Why were you trying to kiss the horse?
Because you told me, hey, act like you're kissing that horse. I was like, and I told Seth, I can't. They say there's a sign that says you can't touch it. So
I told you to get on the horse.
No.
Next time.
All right. What's your other thing?
What else you got, Mason?
Yeah. So I don't know. For me, like I said, most of it, why I'm going is conversations. So the three things I was really just like scouring, but because I was wearing a Jack's lanyard, guy was like, "You make fertilizer?" And I was like, "Well, we make fertilizer.
I don't mix it like in my bathroom in the bathtub."
So, but it was a good guy. So he just reached out because he was like, "Well, I got this cool piece of machinery," and it was he had this cool fertilizer spreader that I looked at it. I thought it was a lawnmower.
For a dry or for a liquid fertilizer?
I told him, I go, well, so this is how it went. We're not that kind of fertilizer. And he goes, we do every kind. And I was like, run me through it. And so then he showed me.
I'm picturing like a belly grinder.
Well, he showed me this thing and it's pretty slick. So like I could see it being, obviously it's built for granular, but then I could see it working for like control release. But then he was like, there's an attachment with a tank that hooks on so you can do sprayer. And I was like, okay, now we're talking. But it was just kind of cool because I was like, oh, this is like if you got to fertilize a ton of square footage, like this is great. Because I don't know, I'm sure we've all applied lawn fertilizer before. And it is not something I do anymore as of last year. Like it's either like I've tried the handheld one. You're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get through all these bags like this? Right. And then I've tried like the push one that like spins and then it clumps up halfway through and then you're shaking it and then all of a sudden it just, and you're like, oh,
drops and burns.
Dead. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, well, and he was like, we have this like AI programming in here that like reads out how much you need to put per square foot and it makes sure that it does it. I was like, that's pretty slick. And so the guy was really cool. He was like, you gotta come by the check it out. We'll give you a demo of it. And I was like, I'm not gonna buy this $15,000 machine.
But it's cool.
Yeah, no, so that was really cool.
I like the innovation. I mean, integrating technology was something that probably needs a little bit of innovation.
Well, and that's what I like about the iLandscape too, is because landscape is a big portion of it, is that like Steel has a booth, Echo has a booth, like, so I can look at them and
The
be like,
cool stuff.
yeah, what am I gonna buy? Like Russo is like one of the big sponsors, and they have stores around here. Used to, you remember this, Bill? They used to send out a newsletter, and it was like every Friday they had a tiger at a different store, like a live tiger. I tried to find online stuff about that, but I think it's gotten buried now. So hopefully they're not upset that I mentioned that they used to have a live tiger in their stores
Yeah.
every other Friday. Yeah, so I don't know, the equipment side of things, particularly this fertilizer spreader. I think the company name was like Stinger, so it was cool. They also had a cool logo that I was looking at. So,
It was like a hornet.
yeah, it was angry, the angriest bee you've ever seen. And of
That's
course,
cool.
they gave me a keychain. I brought the keychain home, but I only had one, and then the
Mhm.
kids proceeded to fight over it, this keychain, for the next 2 hours.
Yeah, you
So
should have just kept it.
I know, dad lesson learned.
Yep. All right, Seth. Thing number 2 that you saw.
Adjacent to what Mason said is they do this hidden gnome thing. So they hide 3 gnomes. I think they're about this big in the different vendor booths. If you
Are they
find them,
living gnomes?
yes, they have real living gnomes from part of the world. They bring them in via United.
Scandinavia.
Do they have to pay
Scandinavia.
'em?
Yeah,
Or are they
Yeah.
like
Union
yeah,
rates.
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
fair enough.
Fred, Wilma, and Jenny are the gnomes, and
Good.
anyways,
Good. I'm
put
sure they
these-
keep coming back year to year.
okay, all right. Disclaimer: they're not real. I mean, they are
Oh.
real gnomes, but they're whatever.
They're not
so
living.
plastic.
Yes.
Yes, they're not living. Yeah, they don't breathe or poop in the vendor booth. So it's little tiny plastic gnomes, and they put them in the different vendor booths. And so then they give out, if you find it, you get like $200, $300, and $500. So what
wow.
happens is actually all of like the visiting students go crazy.
Yeah.
Right. So they're like looking
Oh,
around.
yeah.
So like I was actually in the home nursery booth, right? And I'm talking to them, and some college students walk up. They're like, "Do you have the gnome?" And they have the whole like mat, and they've looked in all the. They're like, "Well, it's only like your booth and like 4 other booths where the gnome has to be." So, and then I talked to one of the committee members who was working like the front desk with all of the show brochures. And I was like, "Oh, hey, Tony, how's it going?" He's like, "I'm fine unless you ask me about the gnome." And he was just saying like
He's
how
we
like
didn't
all
even
this,
bring any gnomes. He said there are no gnomes, actually.
yeah,
That's the secret.
no. But he was just saying like it's really good to get the students engaged, right? Like it makes the students like talk to all the vendors.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really cool concept. Hey,
No,
and,
it's a
and
good
while
idea.
I'm on home nursery, I got to do a call out to Lincoln Thomas. He's one of our listeners. He said that he loves the podcast and he's at home nursery. So yeah, I just got to give him a call
Lincoln,
out.
thank you.
Thank you.
Heck yeah. Oh, that's good.
Appreciate it.
Anything you can do to get people to walk the entire show. I mean, I feel like you could do that probably at a garden center too, right? Like there are 3 gnomes in this garden center. If you find all 3, you get something, a discount or a coupon, but that would get you through all the, get you through the nursery and the perennials and the annuals and the vegetable,
I tell you,
pottery and hard goods, and then back to the register.
Or like I just feel like we always could do a better job engaging kids, right? So it's like a family walks in, you're like, "Hey kids, if you find this gnome, you get this like little thing here, like this little doodad." Kids, right. Mason knows, Bill, you were there. Like kids will like take any little tiny crappy thing. You'd be like, "Oh, we got this like really
get a keychain with a hornet on it."
Yeah, anything, and they're like, "Yeah." So
squeezy rock.
Yeah, that would be
squeezable rock. I mean,
nice.
Anything, but you're right. No, I like that idea. All right, you guys got 2 more before we wrap up.
One more. One more.
One more.
Well, I mean, combined 2 more.
Okay,
one more each before we wrap up iLandscape.
Or I thought
So in the I can go.
Go ahead. No, you go. Fine. Okay, fine.
Hey, anyway, all right. My third thing that was great is that I'm gonna be really lame and sappy here, but it was great. The people. I think that I got to see a lot of my connections and friends. Got to see Seth, some old coworkers as well. Even saw Sam Schmitz. I hadn't seen him in 7 years, 6 years.
Professor Sam Schmitz.
And I didn't know that. I didn't know that he was doing something different, and so he saw him. Obviously, chatted with the folks at Plant Peddler. I got to see Seth. American Hort had a booth there, so saw Cameron. Got the latest. I told him I'm a big fan of his tariff escapade newsletters, and he's like, man, I'm so busy. I just try to keep up with what's happening with tariffs, and he's like, it's never gonna stop. No, that's the reason why I go, and so that's my third thing.
Did you get any food there? Was there food, or was it just trade show food? Okay,
I went after lunch, so
okay, fair enough. All right, Seth,
you know what?
thing.
I was actually going to say people, but he took that from me. So I'll stay a little bit more on product. Although I'd say if I gave Lincoln a shout out, I should give a shout out to Marcus Jansen because he's a big.
It was his birthday
listener.
yesterday.
It was his birthday. Yeah, he turned 30.
So he was wearing a 30th anniversary for Wave, and he was like, Wave and I are the same age.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I happened to see also newly retired Jeff Gibson and was standing there with me. And then Jeff was like, I have to leave right now. The fact that you were
30.
But you've been around as long as Wave. Like, I was here to see that whole thing. He's like,
Jeff's like, I was on the original Wave marketing team. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Which also proves that nobody can retire. Nobody can retire from our industry.
No.
People are like, yeah, I'm retired. I'm going to spend all my time, chilling out and relaxing. I'm going to iLandscape, by the way, and I might just work a booth.
So, I was glad to see him because I hadn't seen him since he retired. And I was like, hey, congrats. So he was like, yeah, I'm missing my nap.
All right, that was your shout out to Marcus. But what's your thing?
Yeah, that was my shout out. So my third thing was Will Away in the Synergy group. I think Prides and Over the Vest kind of. I think they have a rebrand going on. Worry free. UORRY.
Oh, okay.
Worry.
Yeah, worry free.
But like worry free. So I thought it had kind of a. I mean, as we're trying to connect with consumers and, people think plants are hard. So I thought that was
that's good.
It's kind of it's a cool pot. It's kind of see a little bit. It's a little blurry.
Pixelated, but okay.
Just the listeners have to imagine it's like a bluish pot and green littering. So I thought that was kind of a neat concept, a nice framing. So
yeah, I like it. Willoway's less than 10 minutes from my house.
You've been there, right? Avon?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Avon. I drive past it all the time.
Yeah.
They actually put out more political signs than any other business on the west side of Cleveland. I'm not going to say which direction they lean, but they definitely win the political signage award for businesses west of Cleveland, Ohio.
Interesting.
Yep. Shout out to Willoway. Great business.
Yeah, they're good
stuff.
Cool.
Well, I think
that's my three.
And how long are you there for today, Seth? When do you get?
You never leave.
I'm gonna leave right after this.
Oh, okay. I was say you're gonna leave before booth tear down. Yeah, I see how that works.
I have a meeting. I have to go back to the office. I have a meeting at the office.
Okay. Well, good. That's good. You're gonna finish your Friday on a high note. Go back to the office, knock out that meeting, and get ready for the weekend.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be warming up. Like the weather here is warming up. It's like
60.
As I say, I'm going to go run later today, probably in shorts. Like I'm excited.
Tomorrow it's supposed to be 35.
Oh, yeah, it's that weird weather.
Yeah, that's Illinois. It's crap testing. Mason doesn't believe me. Look at that face.
I don't.
I got a topic I want to throw out. So I've been seeing these videos on YouTube, and my algorithm on YouTube is totally messed up. I'm just going to say that.
You built it yourself.
What's that?
I said you did it to yourself. You built it.
I completely did it to myself. But what I'm seeing a lot now is because I watch a lot of videos on like productivity and like digital minimalism and all these stupid little buzzwords that I'm into. But this one that I'm seeing now is TikTok killed hobbies. And I probably have seen have been pushed at me at least 20 of these videos in the last 3 days. So I was thinking about it, and I watched a couple of them because they sucked me in. TikTok killed hobbies. And basically the reason is that social media has turned hobby into content, and that hobbies have to be posted and talked about. They have to be competitive. And that, of course, has led companies to jump into these algorithms to sell products. And I guess the fundamental point is that hobbies are now layered with stress and consumerism and are no longer relaxing. And I did a tiny bit of research before this podcast. And so the top hobbies right now are cooking and baking as one, reading, pets, video gaming, and then watching TV or streaming. And then the hobbies that are on the rise just after those are fitness, crafting, fine arts, and gardening. And then when I looked at hobby participation, it's actually up slightly, like 1%. Like it's not up much, but it's up. And then the hands-on hobbies and digital hobbies and wellness related hobbies are up. And then hobbies are still strong because social media has increased their visibility. Then when I looked at the hobbies that are on the decline, it's like indoor crafts like knitting and scrapbooking, declining. Reading physical books. So reading might be up, but reading physical books is down. And I wonder if or like listening to like Audible is
Audiobooks.
considered part of reading.
Yeah.
And then team sports for adults are down, which I get, although I'm going to guess that pickleball is probably going to reverse that trend. And then photography is down.
Does that count? Does that count
What?
as a team sport?
Yes.
I mean, do you think the counters count it?
Versus like pickup basketball or pickup soccer or something. Softball. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
What
I'm
would
going to
be a
start playing
solo
pickleball in
sport?
June. So be ready for me to just dominate this podcast with pickleball content coming in June.
Hey, well, shout out to that point. Laura Kunkel, executive director of American Bloom, is like a pickleball fanatic, and she's done like workshops and such. Like she's
Well, I'll have
the
to talk to her.
pickleball maven.
So on June 8th, I turn 50, and that's my self-imposed deadline to start playing pickleball. So yeah, so hobbies. Hobbies being killed by social media, I think, isn't it? Because gardening is a hobby. So that's why I think this is kind of tied to our industry in a way. I have hobbies, but I feel like my hobbies are competitive. When I was thinking about it, I was like, yeah, like you got to post about them. You've got to,
Why?
even like coloring, like you got to post why is a good
Why?
question. I don't know.
Because that's all right.
Because you feel like it's not real if you don't post about it.
No. So before I recently deleted Instagram for a temporary deletion, just taking a break from it for the next 40 days, I don't know if I posted anything other than like family pics in a long time. And I don't know. I don't know if you guys fall in this trap, but I have a few hobbies, like, and actually ones that you mentioned. Like, I'm really into cooking pizzas. I'm really into reading right now. And this is where I get in a debate with my friends, and maybe for another episode are audiobooks reading. I count it as such. A lot of people don't, but I'm mixed base on that. Is like I'll read some, I'll listen to some, whatever. But then like also gardening, and then I would say home improvement is a hobby for me. And I find it very strange the number of times that like when I talk to somebody about my hobbies, the first thing isn't an actual connection to the hobby that somebody says. From books. Books is different, I think, for me. I find it weird on that one as far as this conversation, but I actually understand it still. But home improvement, for example, anytime I'm like, oh, hey, I want to show you this thing that I built. Like when somebody comes over and is like, yeah, I just built this. Like I'm proud of it. Showing someone in person the first social media. The first thing that they say a lot of times is, you should start an Instagram page and you should put up all the things that you build, and then you can get followers and do this. And so when you sent out that article and those videos, I was like, yeah, I'm not like, cause and the reason for it that people say that is that they're like, there's money to be made out there on social media. Like there's, and actually, I'll throw this out there. When we started this podcast, I had so many people, non-horticulture people, reach out to me, and they were like, "Ooh, you gonna monetize? Are you trying to be viral? Like how many downloads do you have?" And I was like, "Listen, this is a way for three friends to get together and like talk about the industry. Like there is a small subset of people that will be interested in this." Right. But I just think that is so strange because, before, it's one thing if your hobby turns into your job. Like some people like gardening and then they want to get into like having a garden center or like becoming a farmer, right, with more land. But it's another thing where it's like, I like gardening. I have to turn it into my job to be an influencer in gardening. So I think this idea of like hobbies dying has a bit to do with influencers. And that's kind of why I'm glad that I'm off Instagram right now on the book side, because like I started getting into book recommendations. But then it was like, every video I was seeing was, here are my top 5 fantasy books for
Right.
2026. And it was like these people, like it looked like they were being held hostage, and they're like, you gotta read this one, you gotta read this one, you gotta read this one. And it's like, okay, it was good for me for book recs, but the last thing that like I don't, and all of them had like the same 5 books. So it was like,
Interesting.
so it was just like very strange because I'd be like, ooh, I wonder what this person has to say. And then I was like, I've already read those 5 books. On to the
Same
next one.
thing.
It's all the same books with like, and maybe it's all the same 20 books. And if they're doing 5, it's like, well, I share with this, like there was, and I gripe about the same thing with Spotify. That's different, but like all the playlists are the same reshuffling of 100 songs and nothing new. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, I agree. Like, I think that there's some validity to this influencer trend, and I understand that there's a need for influencers, and there's always been influencers outside of TikTok and social media. But I don't know if it's a combination of the tech with this like desire for exposure that I can see that it's burning some people out on what we would consider the fun activities in life, because that's what hobbies are, right? Like
Mhm.
you're doing this because I have some time away from work. I want to do something else and not just be a bump on a log. And now it's become less of I want to enjoy this and more of I have to do this to get it out so other people can see it. And that's why like I don't send pictures of the pizzas I make to a group of coworkers every Friday. And I send them to my other buddy that he does pizzas. That's it. And then my home improvement projects, I got a buddy that I'll send those projects to, but I don't post any of them because
Mhm.
I don't want there to be any pressure.
Yeah. Well, pressure for you, right? Yeah.
Right.
No, I get it.
I
Seth,
go
any thoughts on hobbies?
So I've conflicting thoughts, sort of like to this point. Is one is I think the exposure does help people with all the different options, right? Like if you think like without social media, you would only ever do the things that your friends are doing, right? Like your close circle.
Mm,
Like how would you know about pickleball? I don't know any well other than Bill, but I don't live by you, Bill, right? So like if I wanted to learn or
yeah.
get exposure to pickleball, like how would I do that? So I think there's an aspect there.
Sure.
I've watched more YouTube how-to videos in the last few years than I ever have, and like I feel like that allows me to do some woodwork or some home improvement. I don't know how improving it is because I'm working on it, but it's home complete. No, I don't know, whatever. So
Yeah.
I like the
No. Yeah. That's home
you
I
know
know
improvement.
that
what you're
part,
saying.
home improvement, right? So like I like that
Yeah.
aspect, but
Some
I think
DIY
there's
stuff.
yeah DIY stuff, but the social pressure side, there's that like that saying like keeping up with the Joneses, right, or the Robinsons or whatever your neighbors are. There's always been that thing, and I think that's like no, is it Joneses, Johnsons, Janices? Which
No,
one
it's
It's
is
the
it?
Joneses.
Joneses. Yeah.
So there's a keeping up with the Joneses, as you were saying, Seth, and it adds the social pressure.
No, I know.
All right,
No, I
here
got
I
Sorry,
it.
I'm
gotta say
breaking.
about I was waiting for Seth to finish his thought, but I think he finished his thought. I have
No,
no
no,
idea.
it's
This
sorry.
is gonna be
It's
flipped.
oh yeah, no, it's coming back. It's coming back. But like yeah, cuz like you have to feel pressure like you have to like post stuff, right? But then like for
Mhm.
some people, I'm not like this as much, but like I think a lot of people see that and they're like, "Oh my god, like I'm not going to be as good as Bill Calkins is with pickleball, so I won't even try." Or I have to post. So you said Mason like I feel pressure to post the things I'm doing, you know? So it's like it does. I think it makes it painful for a lot of people to do things. I don't like to Mason's point, like I post some stuff about my kids just to show people that they're still alive. But and also I have felt sometimes I'm like gardening. I like to garden. I'm a vegetable gardener. I'm not a very good vegetable gardener, but like I sometimes like, you know what? I should post a video because I could get views. I can make money. But then that's so much work, right? You know, you're like, I got to
Mm,
set up the camera and I got to talk to it and I got to do all the stuff. I don't have enough time just to do my vegetable gardening half-assed, you know, like to let alone to
yeah.
like take a video and do all the things. So I don't, but I do feel sorry for a lot of people that are just like feel all this pressure tied to I gotta post and I gotta keep up and all of that jazz.
That's
But
part
if
that's
it's
part of the reason I don't post is that I don't want people to feel pressured to keep up with me.
Yeah. Well, that's why I don't.
But it
I
could
don't want
be.
to
I
post
mean,
my
but what
vegetable.
if that's their that's their side hustle or their job? And at that point, they're spending time posting. They're deep into a hobby, no matter what it is, and they're making for the time being, they're making somewhat of a living off of it. I mean, I don't know how long term sustainable it is, but maybe they'll spin it into something else. I don't know. I look at it and I was thinking about like the two main hobbies I have. I'm in Facebook groups about them. I'm discussing them with other people. I'm posting within those groups mostly to, just to show off, to get
So,
attention. Like there's
so I
a
think that's different. I think it's different. And I'll say this because,
but there is a content requirement in my head. It's like a self-imposed content requirement.
but you're not judging yourself. The difference is that no, you're judging yourself. Sure. I see you shaking your head, but you're not judging yourself on how many likes it gets or how many people look at it. I'm going to guess that if you're in those groups having those discussions, if like 3 people reached out and were like, that's solid stuff, like awesome job.
Yeah.
And you were like, okay, and you're judging yourself on, is this good work versus people that
Yeah.
like, okay, books, for example. These people that are really into books are probably not really judging themselves on like, did I get smarter? Did I read
I see
enough
what you're
books?
saying.
They're judging themselves based on, did my video on books get enough views? And that's where it becomes you're not invested in your hobby anymore.
Right.
You're
Right.
invested
You're not doing
in,
it for enjoyment anymore.
and it's not even you might as well not even be, you're not doing it anymore. You're just doing, really your hobby is social media.
But do we need those people to turn attention to the hobbies themselves? Like if we
No.
think about gardening, like if we want to grow more gardeners, if we want more people engaged in the planting of flowers and plants in and around their house, do we need the influencers that are out there, fighting for clicks and driving
Yes.
impression numbers up? I mean, I feel like we do in
Yes
a
and no.
way.
I think I'm going to say this is that I think certain social media templates are more geared towards addictive behaviors. And again, I'm not a researcher or a psychologist, but and I think that those addictive behaviors, while we address them as the public on the front side of like how much screen time, how many reels are you going to scroll through? That seems a little worrisome. I think there's also a flip side of that there's an addiction problem on the content creation side. So, and that's where like influencers is nothing new. We have just created a platform to where like we've made being the influencer like such a like I'm mining social media. Like it's kind of like, what is this gold rush? People used to move to California. Now everybody's like, I gotta get a hobby. I gotta get on Instagram and I gotta start posting about it, or TikTok. I say Instagram because I'm in my 30s, but TikTok for anybody that's younger than me. But like you think about it, like we've always had people in the neighborhood that were great at hobbies. Like, guys that were gearheads, really liked working on machines. You'd swing down and be like, hey, I'm going to take my car by Tom's because he's pretty good with it. And I'll pay him $30 instead of taking it to a mechanic to pay $300.
Yeah.
We also, even TV, like we had gardening programs, you had DIY programs, and now a lot of that's gone to short video format.
Yeah. Well, and then the thing that Seth brought up with the keeping up with the Joneses used to be your neighbors, right? Like it used to be the people who lived on either side of you, maybe across the street, maybe down the block. But now the Joneses are everybody on social media, whether that's a realistic view of their life or not. Like,
well, and that's a problem when it comes to fitness because a lot of those people are on gear. A lot of them.
Yeah. Well,
and any teenager seeing some of these unrealistic goals is like, they're not like, especially when these people are lying and say, oh, I'm completely natural, and they're loaded to the gills with gear.
Yeah.
On this topic, I have a sort of a mediocre concept here is like, so I like home shows, right? But I don't like the home improvement shows. I don't like it when they're like, oh, my budget's like $1 million, right? And they're like, do all this crazy stuff. I just want like, my budget's $2,000 and they got to get it as far as they can, like a regular house and a regular budget. So maybe there could have a trend of like mediocreness, right? Like I'm gonna do home improvement. It's gonna be only like sort of good, or like exercising. Let's get like sort of in shape people doing sort of good exercises. So like regular people are like, oh, I could do that, like sort of good
And
instead of great.
I think to that point, Seth, that's another symptom, problem, something to do with this because that's how it started, right? And Bill, you sent the video about coloring as
Mhm.
a hobby that people had, and it's gotten kind
Yeah.
of in crazy sorts. I'm
Right.
sure that it started as somebody that was really artistic, had a
Mhm.
set of markers, had a coloring book, and was like, I'm going to post this. And then because of that, they started making a little bit money, can afford more expensive stuff. Like I
Mhm.
see this on DIY projects is that there was like these DIY influencers. They started in a small house, they got really well known, then they bought a bigger house, and then now it's like I have this villa and I'm going to
Mhm.
try to do all these projects and they struggle because their clicks start going down, views start going down because the product doesn't relate because they got
Yeah.
money, life changed and now it doesn't relate to who the original
Mhm.
people were. And
Well,
that's
and they
where
probably got a couple sponsors, and now there's corporate sales being pushed into their algorithm, and at that
yep,
point, you're under the pressure, and it is no longer a hobby
yep.
Yeah, we need to
in
bring
any
we
way.
need to bring like trading spaces back. Bill might remember this. It was like on
I remember
TLC,
trading
like in the
spaces.
the
Yeah,
early 2000s or something.
yeah,
And it would like it was like realistic projects, like with the neighbors, and their budget
yep,
was like probably like $1,000 or something. Like bring
yeah,
that back. Like
yeah. They were just like,
I want
here, let's
something.
make the patio look better.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Or like my landscape. Like how do I do my landscape under like $1,000?
I made at one point I helped Bill make his patio look better.
Yeah, we added bricks. We doubled the size of my patio.
I think I was
It was
there.
great. I think
Okay.
within 2 months we sold the house.
There was.
So never really, and it was a little.
Despite
It
the
wasn't.
ghosts,
Yeah, I mean, we did an okay job. It wasn't a professional job.
me and
Mm,
me and
Might
old
not have been
Scotty Z.
completely level, but there was a lot of
yeah.
sand and bricks
Mm.
involved, and a lot of
You know
trips
what?
back and
Like,
forth to Menards. And my Ford Taurus pretty much
mm,
killed the shocks on that thing. I was like, "Hey, just put a whole pallet of bricks in the trunk."
I have
But I
to I
do
have to
think,
call.
like, just with hobbies, I would like to see the relaxation side of hobbies be as important as the content creation
Yeah.
side,
Yeah.
especially with gardening. Like, I
And
think we
maybe
I
need we need influencers and content creators to expose more people to gardening, but I do think gardening at
mm,
the end of the day is, whether it's home beautification, does increase the value of your home, but it also gives some relaxation. It is an outdoor activity. It gets you closer to nature and fresh air. And Seth, you're gonna like this. I lost it. But in my notes about gardening, as why is gardening on the increase? Number one reason, sustainability. Number two reason, homegrown food. Number three reason, outdoor living. So
oh,
well, and
why?
to that point, by the way, Bill, I would say that not even relaxing, but I want to see hobbies like people should be focused on their individual outcomes. Like
mm,
judge like is this result as good as I wanted it to be? Was it better than my last one? And not did the video of this result get more clicks than my last video?
I do have to say, if I don't say this, I feel like I'd be hypocritical because on the coloring thing, Elizabeth is like really good at coloring, and like once upon a time, because you guys both know me, I'm always like businessy sort of brain or whatever, and so I was like, oh, you're really good at this. You should like, I bet you could sell that on eBay.
mm,
And she was like, leave me alone. I just want it to be a hobby.
yeah,
Hobby is not money making. Leave me alone. So over like
good for
multiple
her.
years of her, I know after multiple years, I'm starting to learn, okay, I'm just going to enjoy myself. Not all about making money. Just enjoy
Seth's
yourself.
been putting all of her pictures on Etsy without her knowing.
It's like I tell Alex, she's big into baking, and I always tell her like we should get a bigger oven so that you can sell it. Now I'm okay with that because you're not focused on the videos. If we're selling bread for $15 a loaf,
Yeah, but then you're gonna need the videos.
I guess you're probably
Yep.
right. Maybe it's
I don't know.
inescapable. Maybe we're doomed.
Yeah, because
It's
then you could like
crazy. You were talking about like a book recommendation video. I watched my first book recommendation video like 2 days ago. I didn't even know this was a thing, but somehow it got served up to me because of something on minimalism or habits or something that I was watching. It's like this dude, and I started watching. I was like, oh, that's really cool. He's talking about books. Then I realized like I would never hang out with that guy. Like
Yeah.
And
ever.
his books, the books he was big into like fantasy books, which I don't read. I know you do. And I was looking for like, and then the classics. I'm like, I've read all those. I have like an English lit degree. But behind him was like piles of books, and it just looked, I don't know. I was like, yeah, I don't like you, and I don't think I'm going to take your book recommendation seriously.
The worst part about that is because it was probably on Instagram.
No, it was
I bet.
YouTube.
Oh, it was YouTube. I'd probably say. I bet I could find. Like, I bet that he's one of the 20 people that get served up to me every other day.
Yeah.
Can
I
we?
forget, he
Can I
might
do
have
it
been
like
British or something.
an adjacency to this topic on the influencer side?
Yeah.
This is a TV series idea, right? For the greenhouse industry. There's this Pokemon influencer that my son would watch. Mason might watch it too. But
Which one?
Pokerev, I think.
Yeah, Pokerev. Yeah,
Is he the guy
it's
that
like one of the top
travels?
5.
He's the traveler guy,
probably.
right? So what he does,
They all.
well, this
By the
guy,
way,
like,
today, Friday the 27th, is Pokemon Presents Day.
oh my God, he has like a live session or something. Well, anyways, so this guy, his shtick is like he'll like fly into a city and he's like, oh, I'm gonna complete this Pokemon set. And then he goes to all these different Pokemon shops, and he's like, he has his film crew, like 2 guys that are with him, and they're like, oh, I'm looking for these packs. He opens it up and he's like trying to complete the set. And if he doesn't complete the set, he like sells it like to his audience or whatever. But then he goes to all these little small card shops, and or like the show and stuff. I was like, oh, we just need to have a garden one. Like, someone flies in and he's like, oh, I'm trying to complete the Darwin Perennials new introduction set or approval winners or whatever it is, right? And you got to go into these garden centers. I'm like, oh, I'm looking for the new salvia, blah blah blah. And they're like, oh yeah, we have it here, or we just ran out, and it would like introduce people to all these different garden centers across America, right?
You could do it with our fantasy plant draft teams.
Yes. I want to complete Mason's
Be
team.
like, I'm flying into Minneapolis, St. Paul, and I'm going to complete the Carlos Lantana championship fantasy plant
the way I
draft
set
team.
it up, it'd be impossible. Because I drafted
different
seasonally.
Seasons. Well, that's
where are you going to find a poinsettia in this middle of summer?
Well, you got to be choosy which city you go to.
You could pull this off, like,
right?
You could almost pull this off for fun, like, and pick just a category or pick like a palette of plants and go in and try to do it. I love this. I want to do this.
I think this is a good idea for like a leadership thing. It's like, hey, you got to go find these 6 plants in the next 12 hours. Here are your teams.
Yeah, here's your team.
I asked Elliot.
I bet you I could get Chris and Jen and Osvaldo to do this in California.
It's a great idea.
There's not enough product in the store yet, though. Or are you talking about like of the displays?
No. Create a list. Create a list of like 10 plants and be like, hey, you guys got to go find
like
these
the displays
anywhere,
like in the California spring trials.
We're out there. We got a videographer. We've got,
there's like
photography.
Yeah, but it's still a little early. There's not a lot in the stores
around an entire state. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love this idea. We gotta figure this out. All right. Before we close, we're just about at an hour. We got to do shout outs and hot takes if we have any. I actually have a shout out. I want to give a shout out to big industry companies working together to host events. And the reason I'm putting this out there is I was just got a press release on this ACT group, the ACT, and it's Grodan, Riva, Venson, and Phillips, a substrate company, environmental controls company, coverings and structures company, and then a lighting company. And they're partnering to put on these grower summits. And all 3 of them this year are in Canada. They might always be in Canada. And it's only like the 3rd or 4th year they've done it. But I just think it's cool that they're working together, and it's all just educational. Obviously, they're going to promote their products as well, but they have experts and researchers, and they're just going to present on, new systems, new technologies, and host these events. 3 of them, British Columbia, Quebec, and Ontario or something. So I just think it's cool when companies
I'm going to steal that idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal that idea.
Right. Maybe you should put together your own consortium of.
Yeah, you don't
I already have those people.
Yeah.
You don't have like a pop-up.
I just think it's cool.
Jack's
I think it's a good thing. They're probably free. Like, I don't think the growers are paying to go, so it's a good opportunity. I don't know. I thought it was sweet.
That is cool. I like that. And I like that it gives me an actionable idea.
There you go.
Yeah.
Any other
Yeah.
shout outs, hot takes? What do we got? I mean, we kind of gave shout outs to a lot of the iLandscape, products and companies. Shout out to iLandscape in general, just being a good regional event.
Yeah, by Landscape
Shout out
Illinois is the association. Let's put that on.
Okay.
I wonder, have either of you guys with NGB, they've done the hashtag about the spring trials, like stories about spring trials to raise awareness. Have you guys posted on that yet?
No, but I've been meaning to. Thanks.
Me too.
No,
Yeah,
but I should.
To like make a post?
I thought it was like, I got the vibe that like, because they're always like, somebody asked me to do this. No one has tagged me, and I am sitting there waiting with the picture of me in the beer truck, trying to hug kegs to get them to warm up because they were frozen.
Yeah.
And trying to make spring trials happen. I have that picture on deck. Like, I keep seeing this. I'm like, somebody's going to ask me. No one's asked me. So
my thought was like maybe next week we could share a story, but you just shared your story. So maybe me and Bill could share a story.
No,
that could be a topic. Do you have more than that? Like that's shareable?
Yes.
He did the New Kids dance or In Sync dance in middle of like Harbor Boulevard across from In-N-Out Burger once.
I mean, there's lots.
All right, we can do spring trial stories. We can do hashtag spring trial stories next week for sure.
And maybe maybe that's my participation, is that we do a whole podcast segment that instead of just a photo, we'll talk about.
And the title is just hashtag cast stories.
Yeah. Mason, I'm going to formally invite you,
to
talk about your spring trials story.
Cool. Mason can invite me and I'll invite you, Seth.
Thanks.
It's good. Circle of life.
I got to start being more pessimistic about things. I don't have any like hot takes. You know what? Hey, you posted, I made a hot take. Maybe not a hot take. Yeah, hot take is that after watching those coloring videos that you prompted us with this hobby conversation, hot take, crayons suck. My kids are of the coloring age, and I have sat there for hours coloring with them, and I never get things the way I want them to look with crayons. And so I recently bought myself a little pencil sharpener to use the colored pencils. And they're like, what is that? What is that? And I'm gatekeeping it. I'm like, there's nothing. And I like slide it back in my pocket because I'm tired of using garbage crayons.
Maybe it's not the crayons.
No, it's crayons. Most crayons are terrible.
I hate crayons.
Good crayons are good. Good crayons are okay. But like the ones that like at the restaurant when you're at like Red Robin or something, you're trying to like play hangman on the back of the menu with a crayon that's basically like candle wax.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Also, additional hot take, within 5 years, all coloring books will be AI generated because
aren't they all?
I don't know. We bought Valentine's Day coloring books for Daphne. It was really easy. We did Mini Mickey. Sammy wanted a monster truck coloring book. And we're like, it's Valentine's Day. And then on Amazon, Valentine's hearts and monster trucks. And like we got it and I opened it up and it is very clearly all of these images are just like from ChatGPT that somebody slapped in a binder. Like some cars have eyes, like they're like cars, but except for they have 2 sets of eyes. And then like, it looks like some have bodies behind the seat, but they're all like twisted, just proportions. So great.
Love it. Love the AI hallucinations. And you see it so much now. It's almost becoming humorous to me. Well,
I think you're a trendsetter though, Bill, because never mind.
No, why? I want to know.
Well, with your AI, the artwork that you've been putting up for our podcast, like I started to see other people in our industry start to have.
Wait a second. That's AI. I thought Bill was coloring those.
I was
with crayons.
Yes, my graphic design skills. Yeah, I can't even draw a stick figure. Like I'm the worst artist on this planet. The only thing I'm worse at is snowboarding. Wow, you did that.
Sure,
wow.
That's not me. Don't before you make fun of it. Stick figures are out. Round
figures. You don't have to save for college.
That's good.
That's all right. Get us out of here, Bill.
All right. Well, that's it for episode 14. It was good to catch up with you guys. Seth, I hope you make it home from iLandscape or back to the office for your meeting. To our listeners, thanks for watching. And as I keep repeating, we want to connect with you. Thanks to everyone who offers comments. Thanks to our comment on Spotify this week. I do appreciate it. And it's fun to get us going on a topic. Spotify is probably the best way to comment, or YouTube. Comment about what you liked, what you didn't, throw out some ideas. topics to discuss, we will discuss them. You can watch us on YouTube and Spotify. You can listen on Apple Podcasts and on Amazon Music. I just learned recently that iTunes, like that name, is gone. Like
Yeah.
it's not even iTunes anymore. It's just Apple
Yeah.
Music and
No,
Apple Podcasts.
it's iLandscape.
It's iLandscape, yes. And the best way to get in touch to find out what we're up to is by following us on Instagram at GH Squad Pod. Reach out to us individually. Lastly, be sure to like, subscribe, follow, and all that. Be a friend, tell a friend about the show. And we will be back next week with our spring trials stories.
Awesome.
Perfect.